Guys, we're going to talk about a little NBA expansion. It's brought to us by Malley's. All you need is love and chocolate this Valentine's Day. Be ready to say those three little words. I got the Malley's. From friendship to love to every situationship in between, Malley's has the perfect chocolate to say what you feel. Their famous chocolate-covered strawberries and grapes are back in stores on February 13th and 14th, and the rest of their Valentine's Day favorites like Gold Cup assortments, foiled-wrapped solid milk and dark chocolate hearts, peanut butter, caramel, raspberry, and marshmallow-filled hearts, and so much more. They're all in stores and online now this Valentine's Day. Say it with Malley's. All right, guys, the NBA, according to reports, is considering expansion.
Why?
Possibly going from 30 teams to
Money.
32 teams.
Do we
Steve,
need
you'll
two
take
more
this
teams?
poll whenever you want. The two projected cities that would get teams, Vegas and Seattle.
Seattle should definitely have a team.
Now, we can argue, is
Yeah.
expansion necessary or not? We'll do that in the back half of this conversation.
There should definitely be a team in Seattle, but they should take it from somewhere else.
We could do that,
But whatever.
on the back half.
Who cares? Go ahead.
The main point of this is if expansion were to happen,
Yeah.
there'd be an expansion draft, which means the Cavs could protect up to 8 players on their current roster
Yeah.
that would not be eligible to be selected by one of the two teams or both of the teams in the
All right. So
expansion
you got
draft.
you got a thing of the roster. You gonna bring up the whole roster or no?
I assumed you guys knew the roster, so we could run through
It'd be
it.
nice to look at it, but since you were
mean, would you
slacking
like to-
today.
we could build
All
it
right. So
If you would have prepared for the show, you'd already have it.
Yeah.
no, I am prepared, but I think it would be helpful to have the
So
thing in
you
front of
could
us.
protect 8. That's the number.
All right. So,
And we're doing this real quick so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
As if the draft was right now.
but what else would we be doing it?
Well, in 2 years when expansion happens,
No,
we're
we're
not
doing it
this
as right
concept.
now.
It is if it was right now.
All right. So
After the season or today?
today, right
Today,
now,
yeah, we'll do it today.
right now, today. So you'd keep Mobley, Tyson, Harden, at Jared Allen is 4, right?
Yeah. Did you mention
Donovan?
Donovan?
Donovan 5. That's 5. Okay. Now I was trying to think of the starting lineup. That's who I left out. So the starting lineup is 5 when everybody's healthy. Okay. Now who are our options on the bench? We've got Sam Merrill,
Schroeder,
Schroeder,
Porter Jr.,
Keon
Proctor,
Clark.
Nance.
Ellis, Nance,
Come on,
Tomlin.
why would you even mention Nance?
Wade,
Who's keeping
Bryant?
Nance?
I'm just naming all the players possible.
Don't name them all. I mean, what are you doing here?
This is actually
There you go.
very obvious. This
Yeah.
is very obvious.
See, I think you guys are looking at this all. Jason may be looking at this right, but you and G
Yeah.
are looking at this wrong if you think it's obvious. G, who would you do?
First of all, how much Nance is getting? He's getting assimilated.
I don't even know why Mike mentioned
He's
it.
getting assimilated. What else? Who we got?
All right, so who are the other 3 we're keeping? Contracts,
So
you get the contracts out of there?
The 5 that everybody can agree on: Donovan, Harden,
Yeah.
Tyson, Mobley, and Allen. Right.
Right.
Yes, yes.
We're keeping Sam Merrill, right?
Sam Merrill is automatically on the list.
He's on my list.
Yeah, Sam
That's
Merrill.
6. And who's a guy? Is there a guy we like, but he's got a bad contract?
It was Lonzo Ball. He gone.
Well, no, we didn't like him. But I'm saying because you could keep a guy with a bad contract.
Why would you keep a guy with a bad
leave, No, you
contract?
could leave him available because the team probably wouldn't pick him up or whatever. Anyway,
There is a
strategy.
strategy
to
to
it.
this.
Yeah.
Of
So who are the 3 bench guys you keeping? Sam Merrill.
I'm curious to see who you guys say. I'll go last.
Are you keeping
And Mike,
the kid?
I don't,
Who's the
I don't
kid
know
they
if Mike
just
and I
drafted?
agree on this.
What's his name again?
Tyrese Proctor.
Proctor. We're going to keep Proctor. I mean, he's a rookie. I'd keep him. And then, all right. So the other options are White Wolf can go.
What?
You got Schroeder, Ellis,
The vanilla.
Oh yeah, Schroeder, Ellis.
Tomlin.
Oh, Tomlin. I like Tomlin, but he's whatever. I'll leave
So
him.
here, I'm keeping Tomlin.
Thomas Bryant.
I actually like Thomas Bryant.
Here's
too.
the rest of the names that you got. So
Yeah.
Thomas Bryant.
Yeah.
Craig Porter Jr., Larry Nance, Naquan Tomlin, Dean Wade, Schroeder, Max Strus. And did I say
Ellis.
Proctor? And Proctor and Keon Ellis.
Oh, so here, yeah.
I'd keep Schroeder, Ellis, and Sam Merrill.
You're
I
already
guess.
as your other 3?
Yeah.
Schroeder, Ellis, and Merrill.
And Merrill, yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'd let Proctor go, even though
This is coming up after this
no,
year.
right now. You're doing it right now.
So they
doing
got
it
to
today.
They okay. Or if I'm
Expansion draft is today.
so I'm gonna keep Sam Merrill. I'm keeping. I gotta keep Bryant too.
Bryant.
I need a big, bro. You see our bigs is
Yeah, but they're not
fragile.
going to take everybody. Then nobody's going to take Bryant. We can leave him out there.
I'm just saying, like I gotta have a big. And Max Strus, I got to keep him, right?
All right, I'm not. Oh, so you're keeping Strus, Merrill, and Bryant. I'm keeping Schroeder, Ellis, and Merrill.
No. Let me go back and let me think. Let me think. I'm gonna come with. I'm keeping Schroeder. I'm keeping Strus, and I'm keeping Merrill.
All right, so we're keeping the same guy. He's keeping Strus. And I'm keeping Ellis. That's the only difference. Go ahead, Jason.
I'm keeping Merrill, but I'm keeping Proctor and Ellis. So let the rest of them go.
Proctor. I was thinking about Proctor. So you're keeping Proctor instead of Schroeder.
You will lose Proctor. You will lose him.
Okay, instead of Schroeder.
You're not going to lose. You probably won't.
I
lose
was
Dennis
considering
Schroeder.
that because he's a rookie in this room.
And if you do lose Dennis Schroeder,
you lose him.
For what he's making,
yeah, that's fine.
It's not that big of a loss. And Strus is hurt. He has no value
I'm
right
not
now
keeping
because he's
Strus.
hurt.
Nobody would take him.
And if again, like some of these teams are, you put your high dollar guys out there, you want them to get taken. It's like here, go ahead, get that money off our books. We just talked about optionality and flexibility and all that. But Mike and I haven't talked about this. I am 100% keeping Proctor. Like that's.
So Merrill, all right, you only one difference to me.
You were close. You and I were close.
Yeah,
I was surprised.
Go ahead, Mike.
So Merrill's a lock.
Yeah.
And I think the next two are really tough. To me, Tomlin's a lock too.
I had him.
Shoot. He can't.
I had him. I just like. I like. He's a.
But you didn't have him.
I like him, but
I'm not keeping Tomlin because he can't shoot.
There's something
like his
about
game.
Tomlin.
I like his
and I
game.
do believe you can become a better three-point shooter. I don't think he'll ever be a sniper, but I do believe he can be a better three-point shooter. And the way he plays, the energy of which he plays, the way he can change a game just by the intent. He would be snapped up in a heartbeat. There's no way he's not getting picked up by one.
Correct. I agree with that. You will lose him.
I need him in that locker room.
All right.
And it goes down to Proctor versus Ellis for me. And I haven't seen enough of Keon Ellis other than I know the fact he's a dog defensively just because that's what you see in the highlights from Sacramento. To have like a definitive, I'm 100% certain this is the right decision. But I love what I've seen from Proctor. And I know there's not a ton of minutes on this version of the Cavs because of all the veterans ahead of him. But everyone you talk to in that organization sings this dude's praises to the highest extent. And as good as
would they not sing? Are they going to not sing his praises to you?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, these are off-the-record kind of conversations.
Off the record,
yeah.
all right.
These guys think Proctor can play, and it's just a matter of we don't have the minutes for him at this level.
They did a really nice job
Yeah.
with getting him.
All right.
So I think I would keep Proctor, Tomlin, and Merrill and pray.
Mike's taking
Ellis
Tomlin over Ellis.
Ellis, you're losing multiple guys probably. Like whoever, all these names that we're talking about, you're losing whoever you leave
Is anybody
exposed.
taking the White Wolf?
The Vanilla Wolf.
I mean, they're not losing that many, Jason. There's only, you're talking about 30 players for the entire league getting drafted. That's it.
Yeah, but if you protect 8 off every team, some teams, I mean, there's going to be good players exposed.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you're not keeping them all. If you leave between Tomlin, Ellis, Proctor.
Yeah, two of those three got to be, two of those.
Schroeder's getting picked up, too.
Yeah.
Schroeder's getting picked up. Even though his contract's a little high.
Are you sure Naquan Tomlin is one of the 30 best non-top 8 players in the league?
He's making $2 million
He's
next year.
he's free
I
money.
guess that factors
He's free
in,
money,
yeah,
and he reminds me of what Kenneth Faried used to do. Like Kenneth Faried is a much better rebounder. He's a little bigger, but the energy a guy like that can't come in a small spurt. But offers a rebound, a dunk, a putback, change the complexion of a game if you are a good team.
All right, I'm going to flip-flop. I'll put Proctor instead of Schroeder.
So
I like
you're
Proctor,
keeping
too.
Merrill,
I'll keep
Proctor,
the same as you.
Merrill, Proctor, and Ellis.
But I'm keeping Ellis over Tomlin.
I like Tomlin. I really like him. He's great.
Yeah.
He can't shoot. I can't.
Right.
You can't protect a guy
Right.
in this league.
So
in this
you
era
think
that can't shoot.
Schroeder, Tomlin, and either Ellis or and Ellis.
Proctor is like my 6th guy, honestly, over Merrill because of the contract. Proctor and Merrill 6'7", and then 8th would be
Either Tomlin, or Ellis.
and I would take Ellis,
Yeah.
even though he's about to get paid.
So,
this
and who do you
offseason.
think would get picked up? You think Schroeder would get picked up?
I think a team, just based off the caliber of player Schroeder is and the position that you need of.
Remember, you have 210 players becoming available, and only 30 are being drafted.
Yeah, I think
So
2 or 3 of
it's-
the Cavs would be picked up, yeah. Cavs are one of the deeper teams in back. Like, Proctor plays on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
They just have 11 guys when healthy that can
All
play.
right. There we go. That was a fun exercise.
Do you think, real quick, Strus would get scooped up here, Jason?
No.
He might.
Next year's the last year of his deal. 16 mil. I
think yes. I think he would get picked up because he's free.
So you think out of 30 players, 4 from the Cavs, huh?
Well, but with Strus, if he's healthy next year, you can trade him as an expiring contract. Because obviously, if you're an expansion team, you're not winning.
Yeah, you're right.
But you pick him up now, and then you can get value for him at the trade deadline next year as an expiring contract. And he's a veteran who's good in your locker room and that sort of thing. So, yeah I think he would get picked up.
Yeah. Okay. I kept him.
I think Tomlin would get plucked. I think Strus would get plucked.
Ellis would definitely get plucked if he's out there.
Yeah.
But you have to pay. Like, Ellis is in line for a 3-year, $52 million extension this summer. I don't know enough about Keon Ellis yet, and I just see how his offensive
that's not a lot of money in the NBA, is it?
For a team up against a second apron, like...
Yeah.
Listen, he may be worth every penny of it. I just haven't seen enough of Keon Ellis to tell you confidently, like, I like that amount of money for a player like Keon Ellis.
I'll tell you, I find subjects like this and Mount Rushmore is way more interesting than, like, expectations. What's a successful season for the Browns?
This was actually a good exercise.
These are fun.
If Tomlin could shoot even a little bit more better than what, then he would be on my list. I like him. He's a good player.
You know what's surprising? He doesn't. I think I imagine him becoming a better shooter because he does not mind shooting it. Like for a person who can't shoot, like he thinks
he can.
He thinks he's a sniper.
If this were the 1980s, you'd keep him over Sam Merrill.
Probably yes.
But I mean, Sam Merrill has Steph Curry capabilities.
I mean, let's not get crazy. What are you out of your mind?
I mean, I don't.
Sam Merrill can't tie his shoes.
10 threes, bro. He's hitting 10 threes. That's wild work, bro.
Hey.
That's in a game.
Don't you dare disrespect Sam Merrill like that.
Sam Merrill is a sniper, bro, at the highest level.
So it's okay for him to insult Steph Curry? You're going to put Sam Merrill in the same sentence as Steph Curry?
Hey, watch this. Watch this.
Curry, period.
Hey, can Steph Curry hit 9 threes in a game?
Yes.
So can Sam Merrill. That was
How about
cold.
this?
how many times can Steph Curry make 9 threes
now
in a game?
there's levels to this thing.
And how many times can Sam Merrill make 9 threes in a game?
Steph can roll out of bed with slippers on and knock that and not 100 in a row.
Jeans.
Yeah, right. And Ugg boots.
I got a stat. Hold on one second.
Oh boy, here we go.
Sam Merrill, bro.
Mike's Cavs propaganda.
Sam Merrill is the only person in the world that besides him and the N1 mixtape dudes, they just basically said, "Oh baby, Sam Merrill, my godson," and stopped the game.
It was funny with Sam. And
there was no timeout.
You could actually say this about Steph, too. Mike was laughing the other night after the game because Sam's in the locker room. Looks like he's leaving to go play 18.
I got one better. Sam was at the Charge game last night with his family. He's got a wife and two little daughters. He looked even more ready to play golf. He looked like he was ready to play 18 during halftime. And Strus was there last night, and Proctor was there last night.
Why were they all there? Just nothing else to do?
All-Star Weekend. They want to support the Charge.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was cool. A couple of Cavs coaches were there yesterday.
He definitely had an Under Armour polo on. He definitely had.
Listen, and Sam's my guy. I like Sam. Talked to him yesterday. If he walked past you, you'd have no idea he's a professional basketball player.
I mean, he's tall, though.
Just a tall white dude. He looks as incredibly normal, and I mean this is a compliment, as incredibly normal of a guy as you've ever seen in your entire life.
I don't know if it's a compliment. I'd say it's a neutral
I don't mean it's a
observation.
bad thing. But he blends in with the crowd.
Well, guess what? Steph Curry don't look like no NBA player either.
No, he doesn't.
But now his face is like, it's Steph.
I'll never forget the time that Shaq came in studio with Dustin and I. And as you guys know, we sit in these high chairs, right? And I was standing for the interview, and Shaq was sitting, and we were the same height.
And then he stood up, and then you were.
And it was just wild.
It was
so wild.
You're like, there's a human being that big. Yeah. That's crazy. We got the same organs and everything.
It is crazy.
And he's just that big.
Yeah, insane.
I found the stat I was looking for.
There it is.
Here we go.
Sam Merrill had 9 threes on 90% shooting from beyond the arc in that game. Steph Curry's never had a game with 9 or more threes where he shot 90% or better from beyond.
That was
clearly Sam Merrill's better.
That was like
rarefied air.
A G. Bush Shador against the Titans stat right there.
Yeah, man. No, I got all kind of. That's not even. That's the lightest.
It was the greatest game of all time.
It was the greatest game that was done in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
In a 1 o'clock window.
Yeah.
With a rookie quarterback that was drafted after the 3rd round.
Yes.
I would argue it was the greatest shooting performance in the history of the NBA by a white guy named Sam 2 days in a top 75 all-time players home debut with his new team against the tanking team wearing gold uniforms ever.
I mean, who can argue with that?
Ever.
Hey, and
That's too many different categories.
He's the first.
Even think if it's possible.
He's the first
game ever.
He's the first white dude to ever have a game be stopped from a non-dunk. Usually, when you get a dunk or you get crossed up, and people come out the stands like, "Oh my gosh!" He made people stop the game, and they said, "Hold on, did anybody call a timeout?"
Gee, I asked Jalen Tyson after the game, what if Sam dunked? Because he had a fast break where he ended up dribbling out. I said, what would have happened if Sam dunked? And Jalen was on his phone, put his phone down, and said, I would have left. Just would have walked out. Just would have walked out. That's the one thing.
How tall is he?
He's 6'4".
He can't dunk?
He better.
He says he can. His teammates don't believe him.
I mean, Dustin can dunk, and he's 5'11".
At that point,
he played in the NBA.
Let me show you me show you how, as white people get older, they become more secluded.
Yeah.
So he could probably dunk, but it's a faux pas for a white dude. Like he's like, I'm a guard. I don't do that.
Really?
I'm gonna finger roll and lay the ball up. Just same way he probably could have a Lamborghini, right?
Yeah.
He has a Ford pickup. He does not.
Sam have a Ford pickup?
There is no. Listen,
I don't know what kind of car.
There are very few guys. Listen, even if the guys are super rich, there's a level of car at which you refuse to go above because it's kind of cheesy.
Should you be driving a pickup if you're living in Cleveland, in the city?
He does not have.
Even in the suburbs. Like if you're in the country, all right.
Put it to you like this.
I want a pickup.
Who else?
Really?
Yes.
Ty Jerome.
I always say I'm going to buy one, and then I never do.
They don't have foreign cars. They're not getting like no foreign car. Like they may have an Audi or a BMW or Mercedes, and that's even kind of.
Yeah, but a Subaru is a foreign car.
No, you know what foreign I'm talking about.
You mean like a fancy foreign car?
Yes, like there's a like you can't, like even if you had it, you can't get that off because when you drive it around, your other white friends look at you like.
I guess it depends.
You got the Maserati.
What are you talking about? You saying Luka can't get that off, or because he's European, it's different?
He's different. He's where the
what's his name? The rookie
who
on the Mavs? What's his name?
Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg.
He ain't got no foreign.
He can't get that off. Could Larry Bird have gotten that off?
He's not getting a foreign. No.
Larry Bird and a Maserati. No.
He's from French Lick, Indiana. What do you mean?
Definitely driving an old pickup.
The old pickup, bro. What do you mean? Like Drake May drives a pickup.
Could Yao Ming have gotten that off?
Absolutely not.
Yao Ming can't.
First of all, he can't fit in them.
Yeah.
And second of all, the government is like, no, Yao, that's not what we
Jeremy Lin. What about Jeremy Lin? Could he have
No. He is the community do not like that.
Oh, I got one for you.
Find me one.
What's his name? Who was that?
How do you say I got one for you then not know the name?
Because I just forgot his name. What's his name? The white guy who was the great point guard. He had all the crazy moves.
Jason Williams.
Jason Williams. He could get that off. You got to give me Jason Williams.
Jason Williams played
Randy
basketball
Moss.
with Randy Moss
Yes,
in
he can get it off.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
He's not getting it off.
I thought he was getting that off. Even Randy Moss can't get that off.
Randy Moss don't do that.